Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and this is just a quick chat about what FFG have announced for Star Wars Legion, which essentially is a new format for the game, which they are calling Skirmish Mode. It is essentially 500 points played on a 3 foot by 3 foot table. We're just going to very quickly run through what it is, and I'll talk about my thoughts and why I'm actually pretty excited about it. If at the end of this video you like the video, press like. And if you're not subscribed and you're interested in Star Wars Legion, press subscribe, as you know that really does help. So as I don't want to spend all day talking about what it is, the kinds of modes, etc. Essentially, it is exactly what I just listed there. Now it talks about how short range might be good. They've got a new post on this. It talks about a new format. As I said, it's then they have a new document which actually lists all of the rules and stuff like that. Now, the most important thing to me here is that it talks about tournaments, and I will get onto that in a moment. My computer's lagging in a moment, but there's new cards that you can print off and play at home if that's something you want to do. I just really enjoy the idea of this format, and I like that they're giving this for free. It would be nice to actually have the cards. Like, a bit of me really wishes that this was the default mode, and the normal version of the game was like the epic mode of the game. Anyway, so this is on the website, and the mostly interesting thing to me is tournaments, right? And because you can go to an event, you can go to a Legion event, and you can play for 9 hours and not have a true winner, because sometimes you'll have 3 people on 3 wins and we don't have time for a fourth game. And 2 people on 3 wins, and you might not have time for that fourth game. And I just, not me, I don't get that high and lofty in the positions, but I just think that it's a little bit awkward. Having a mode where you literally play 3x3 allows me to play it like downstairs on the kitchen table. I don't need to set up my big 6x3, 6x4 table, get everything out. It allows you to really do it in like confined spaces with spending a lot less time in the actual game. Like, the rules for the tournament I think said 90 minutes, whereas normally it's like 2 hours, which is like 120 plus. It just really reduces the size of the game. It very much feels like they recognize that a big game like this is sort of problematic for a lot of people, and I'm a little bit confused because we also at the same time have Asmodee, who own FFG and Atomic Mass Games, have released the Marvel Crisis Protocol game, which is like a skirmish game played on a 3x3 with the same kind of time limit. So it sort of feels like they're treading on each other's toes a little bit there. But on the other hand, I'm not unhappy to see it, because with the way that my life is right now, I'm very much struggling to get the time to have those full games. And I'm also going to have a problem with space. Whereas now that they've done this really, I might get people round and just do one skirmish game and post that as the battle report. Yes, it'd be nice to have the 800 point games and to really revel in that as a glorious, massive game. But, as I said, you've got the time, and the space is an issue. The intricacies, I think you only can have one commander. There's a mode in which there's like an elimination mode, and if you take out somebody's, you get 1 point for each unit, and if you take out like an operative, you get an extra point. That's nice. It can maybe balance stuff like bounty hunters and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of thought gone into it, which I really appreciate. I personally would like to see this. Now, this is very controversial, but I appreciate that not everybody will agree with me. I would like to see this become the de facto tournament mode. Right, I know it's not going to happen. Worlds isn't going to change to a 500 point mode, but I just think if you're going to have a tournament on, if Element Games is going to have a tournament that's not the prime tournaments, I could definitely see, for example, a guy at the Element Games has started running monthly tournaments. I could see those moving to the 500 point format. Then Element Games has a prime tournament, which would be the 800 points, the full game. And then obviously you have your nationals and stuff like that. But the only problem with that is ultimately you're then playing a game that's slightly different from another game, but it's the same game, the same mechanics essentially. And you might learn something's good in skirmish but not good in another. But I just feel like time-wise that makes a lot of sense. Like if that Element Games event changes to the skirmish, I'm definitely going to go, because I'll know I'll get 4 or 5 games in, and it'll be fun and relaxed, and it won't really matter. Whereas if I've got to play the 800 point game on the 6x3, I know it's a bit of a slog. So you've got to get up and move around. 3x3, I'm just going to sit down and throw my models around and not really bothered. I'm quite lazy. Just that'll do. So I understand don't get me wrong. When I say I'd like to become, I know it's not going to become the de facto game mode. I'm not insane, and I know that there is a certain beauty to a 6x3 table covered in terrain in nicely painted miniatures. Like I appreciate that; it looks fantastic. But then I sort of feel like, and you can get like really nice demo boards on 3x3, like the Terrain Studio, Sean, he does really nice stuff. Even shown on the FFG like live streams and that kind of thing. So you can possibly create better visuals on a 3x3 because you can spend more detail on that size. And 3x3 at the sides of the mats that FFG sell. Again, that sort of makes sense. So I'm really appreciative of this. I think it's. I'm not sure if it's too. I don't want to say too little, too late. It sounds really dramatic, but I think the game has sort of de facto become 800 points, and I see like the primes and the world championships still being that. But I would like to see maybe an acceptance of the smaller scale game, and we just accept that it's going to be like a side event. Yeah, it even appears. You know, at the Prime Championships, instead of a Prime Championship, you could have a local store that has like a 500 point game and it has its own way to get to the 500 point worlds. Like, that would be really appealing to me. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the actual game. I'm sure some of you have actually looked at it into more detail than I have and maybe even played it at this point. But for sure, it's definitely something I'm very happy to see. We knew it was coming. FFG had mentioned it was coming. So we knew that was on the way. But I'm very happy to finally see it arrive. And I think it's a cool mod. Whether or not something like Luke is going to be OP, but you only get 5 turns instead of 6, so that sort of hinders that. It's like they have considered the balance, so it'd be really interesting to see how balanced it truly is. I'm sure they've tried the best, but obviously the game is built around 800 points. How much that changes if you bring in a lower point, I don't know. Like, Luke is possibly good, but he's got 5 turns and he costs a lot of points. So really the balance is sort of intrinsically there. It's too early to comment. I wouldn't even want to really begin to speculate, even though that's exactly what I'm doing. So I would like to speculate, but I probably shouldn't. But yeah, I'm very happy about this mode. Let me know your thoughts. Have you played it already? Are you going to play it? I am going to start canvassing the gentleman who runs the Element Games monthly events. I'm going to see if he'll change them to skirmish modes, because I want to play more games in a lazier way that I can sit down and be lazy. But we'll see if that happens. It also means that, like, on a weekday night, if I go to Element Games and we go and we play, instead of it being like one game that you might even just barely finish, you might even be able to get 2. That sounds good. I like that variance in the game and who you play and stuff like that. Sounds great to me. Let me know your thoughts. The sun has set, the light has faded in the UK, and with that I'm going to disappear. Have a most beautiful day though. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.